So my question is, so you will start from the basics, right?
Yeah, from
will
the
you-
basic, even before proper astrology, like how did it all begin from that stage?
Okay. So will you also give reference material or books that we can read?
You'll have to buy 3 books. Actually, it is 2 books,
Okay.
but one book comes in volume. So it's better to get the hard copy. There's nothing like the hard copy in your hands. I prefer not, like generally PDFs are not that great. You don't get the feel. But sometimes if you are very sensitive to the paper problem, then maybe you can buy the PDF. But in my opinion, this is guru stuff. So don't get unauthorized copies. Pay and get it. Okay. Because there's a lot of work involved. In a guru system, you'll have to always give guru dakshina for everything. So buy the book officially, right? Bhrigu Sutram, I think, is less than 100 rupees. It's 80 rupees. When I bought it, this 80 rupees book is worth 800, I don't know, $1 billion. Brihat Parashar Varshastra, I think both the volumes will be, the entire set you can buy within 1,000. And don't read other books, because when you shift your focus, it gets diluted. You will be confused, because we're joining a course only to come out of the confusion. Okay. So we don't want to add more to the confusion. And throughout the class, we'll be maintaining this discipline that we will not talk about modern astrologers, including even my findings. Okay. So BPHS volume 1 and 2. Volume 2 has the Dasha and Antardasha, how to read Dasha and Antardasha, but volume 1 is more important. Bhrigu Sutram, as much as you can read every day, things will get better. Okay. You can take a photo, a screenshot if you want of this. I look at astrology as, you see 1,000 books in the bookstore. It's only extracted from these 3 books, or maybe 1 or 2 other classical books like Brihat Jataka and so on. So there's no need to, even in this book also, Girish Chand Sharma or R. Santanam, they have made their own comments. It's better to ignore the comments. Okay, just read what the Maharishi has said. So we start from creation, gods, deities, and the 9 avatars and the 9 planets. But we have excluded Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto because the ancient masters did not speak about them. And we don't want to add more to the confusion. So basically, the course is about getting rid of confusions. Okay. Then the 12 signs, degrees, horoscope chart, a sample of ephemeris. In those days, how did they do the horoscope? How did they cast the horoscope? Now, within a second, you can generate the most complex horoscope. It just, you just need to key in the date, time, and place of birth, and then you get it at one shot, which was impossible those days. You have to work on it for a long time to get what the horoscope software nowadays does within a second. But still, there are people who want to know how was it done. So ephemeris. Okay. Are there people waiting for me? Everybody's in. Okay. Then it goes on with the 12 signs, degrees, the horoscope chart, ephemeris, sky, visualization of the sky, so you can understand what the horoscope is. Actually, a horoscope is just a photograph of the sky both the visible hemisphere and the invisible hemisphere, the entire circle, 180 degrees on the top, 180 at the bottom of the circle, 360. Just a real, picturization of the planets, which means if in your horoscope, Jupiter and Moon are together in the sky at the time when you were born, Jupiter and the Moon will be together. It's not like it is just randomly, drawn. It's drawn according to the astronomy side of us, the science. This will be, this PDF will be available to all of you, just in case some of you would like to prepare in advance the topics. So we have in-depth of each zodiac sign, how you can use it before a reading. So this is about how much you know about the sign, the zodiac, that much better the reading will get. For example, Sri Varamira said that if you know the symbol of a zodiac sign, you know the symbol completely. Suppose you know the symbol of lion, Leo, and let's say somebody has moon in that place. By observing the lion, you can describe the person. That's the idea. Okay. The 27 nakshatras, the padas, the 4 parts of each nakshatra, the star map of the zodiac. This is something very important. Like you should know the field very well. You see, if you want to play cricket, then you should know what are the points. If suppose you have to tell the fielders, if you have the captain, you want to ask them to be in a particular place. Okay, then you need to know the entire map. Same way, if you want to travel, you need the map. Okay, so you need the building plan. You need all the plans, right? So if you don't know the star map of the zodiac, you'll struggle a lot. You can't imagine in your mind. People can play chess without the board. Okay, grandmasters of chess can play by just dictating the moves, because they know where the pawn or the bishop is, and they know how to speak in terms of the address. Everything is address, right? Address and the map. So if I say Shravana Nakshatra, you should immediately know, I know what you're talking about. It is in Capricorn. It is at the 280th degree onwards, like that. You should know for sure where that point is in the zodiac. So by just touching the chart, if I say, what is this? You should be able to say. All this, once people have done the beginner's course, they are able to do this. Okay. Then we have what is ascendant, then Janma Nakshatra, sun sign, moon sign. Stop using sun sign astrology. That we call as fun, astrology for fun. The 12th house the 12 houses in a horoscope, significations, one-word descriptions, and sometimes also in depth also. Everything will be covered. What is the Kala Purusha concept? The 9 planets in a horoscope, in-depth significations of planets. It's an exhaustive list of what each planet means. Aspects, conjunctions, planetary war, combustion, retrogression. All that you need to know about planets will be there. What is Shubha Kartri? What is Papa Kartri? Sometimes we also deal with misconceptions. And we'll stick always as much as possible to Maharishi Parashara's text. Okay. Logics of planetary positions and rough method calculations using Panchang. How did they do it long time back? But why do we need a computer software? Okay, which is better, and so on. Lords of 12 houses. As a reminder, it's just the same as in solar system. If you know the solar system, then you can learn the Lords of 12 houses in less than a minute. Okay. Then Kendra, Trikona, Dushtana, the Upachaya, the 3, 6, 10, 11 houses. How to use this information. What the significator of each house, what we call the karakas, that will also be taught. Exaltation, debilitation, mulatrikona, and other dignities of a planet. How happy is, how happy the planet is, or how unhappy. The logic of planetary friendship and temporary friendship. For example, just to get you started, if you know why the moon has no enemies, you can type it in the chat right now. Why the moon has no enemies. I'll wait for 30 seconds if you know the answer, otherwise we'll pass. If you do not know why the moon has no enemies, then you are truly a beginner. So don't bother, even if you claim that you've been into astrology for 10 years or 20 years, you still do not know the basics of astrology. The good houses and the challenging houses. Okay. What we mean is, if you don't know the positive houses and the negative houses, how can you read a horoscope? Then we have the Bhava Padas and Arudha Lagna and Upapada Lagna. Upapada Lagna is very important if you have to understand the scope of happiness in marriage. Sometimes you will see it's not divorce, but there will be unhappiness in marriage all the time. So how do you distinguish that? The functional benefic and malefic grahas for each of the 12 ascendants. Then we have introduction to Shadbala, Vimshopakabala, and how to use them in a reading. Then the logic of lucky gem recommendation, lucky colors, gods and goddesses, what kind of charity should one do and why. This is a very important topic because after reading a chart, you must provide solutions and there is always scope for improvement. Okay, that is what is the use. And luckily for us, both the Maharshis have given a lot of ideas on how to change karma. We will use that to the best of our abilities. Logic of effects of the lords of each houses in the 12 houses. But sometimes it's not easy to understand the logic. But wherever possible, we'll discuss it. Otherwise, we'll simply accept the statement as coming from Maharshi Parashara is unquestionable. We'll simply take it like that. But where it is possible, we will discuss the logic so that you will not forget it because you also know the logic. Logic of effects of each planet in a particular house. This is also very interesting, but this is largely dependent on the book that I showed in the beginning, Brihusutram, the 80 rupee book. Okay, sorry, the $800 million worth book. Then aspects of all planets, the complex nature of aspects. Now, this is also, you may think that you know everything about aspect, but tell you the truth, I can bet that 80% of astrologers don't know. Okay, the true nature of the aspects. All the complex nature of aspects, people do not know. But luckily for us, the software is there, but people do not use it. They just say, I know about the aspects, so why should I use that sheet? Rahu and Ketu, what are they and why eclipses? How to use Rahu and Ketu in a reading? If you have to prove astrology, it's very easy to prove astrology just with Rahu Ketu alone, you can prove astrology. It gives extraordinary, profound effects. So there is no way to doubt whether astrology works or not. So the easy way to prove about astrology is just know more about Rahu Ketu. The third graha is Saturn. These three planets pack more karma in them. That is it gives exact results. The others are somewhat flexible, the other planets. But surely Rahu and Ketu packs the most. Brief introduction of Shadbala and Vimshopakabala, how to find the balance of Dasha at birth, Vimshotri Dasha system, planetary periods, reading a chart using Vimshotri Dasha, based on the method given by Maharishi Parashara. Introduction to Ashtakavarga and the basic way of using it. Navamsa chart, calculating the basic methods of using it, how to use Navamsa in a marriage consultation, the importance of Bhava chart and using astrology software to find out the difference between the Rashi chart and the Bhava chart. Then we have Panchamahapursha yogas and sample of horoscopes to prove the power of what we call PMP yogas, Panchamahapursha yoga. Raja yogas and Gajakesri yoga, introduction to other yogas and their logic. Then we have MKS, Maraka Grahas, and the methods of how we use them and how to offer the solutions, also remedies. Then practical reading of 2 horoscopes, fully interactive sessions. Students who participate actively will be allowed to join level 2. And apart from this, as the course goes over only, it's only weekend, Saturday. So we have any meeting that is in between, you get invitation to join. You can freely join it. You don't have to join Patreon. As long as you are a student, you get those links as well. In case you want to speed up or you just want to listen to what level 2 students and level 3 students are saying, you can also join those, meetings, the Zoom meetings. And in case we conduct anything in between, you will get to, you get the invitation also. Okay, this is as far as. So we will be having a digital board where we have, I can draw and show you interactive. I have an iPad where I can write as though I'm in a class on a whiteboard. All that is usually done. I have lots of JPEG images and material. This is the only material that you need. Okay, you don't need, we're not giving you any separate material to study, because anyway, throughout the course, so much of material is given during the video sessions. Okay. Now, any other doubts you have? You can raise your hand. I'll let you ask the question. And once you have asked, please mute the mic and we'll go on to the next student. Who goes first? Sri Ram.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Guruji, my question is, you have suggested few books. Is there the format of the class is going to be like we read a chapter and then come to the class, or like after a class we should read a chapter? Is that how it is, or how do we go about reading the book? Yeah, that's my question. Thanks.
After the class, read the book. Okay. So, because we'll be quoting, we will take the class, right? So you know what is the topic, and using the contents, you can go to that page and read it one more time just to substantiate. But most of the time you wouldn't require it if you are very attentive in the class. Okay. In case you want to just reconfirm, okay, what are the exact words that the Maharishi had used? If you know Sanskrit or Hindi, it helps. Or you can go through the translations and say, okay, this is the same thing that we learned in class. It's just for reiteration. Sometimes you can even go through the entire course without the book. It's possible you can go through. It just gives you a feel that we are sticking to the books, and you can trust what you're learning, right? Because it comes from Maharishi Parashara, just to give you that good feel. That's the reason why we ask you to buy the book. Even if you don't buy the book, there is no problem. See, the problem is in India, every Indian is an astrologer and a doctor. Almost. Okay. Maybe you can say 95%. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but it's almost the case. Because if somebody, there was an interview by an actor, he tells the interviewer that I know everything in this world. And then the interviewer casually asks, do you know astrology? Yes, of course I know astrology. You want to see? You want to see? So the interviewer said, okay, go on. Ashwini, Bharani, Kartika, Mrigashira, Rudra, like that. He, Kritika, Rohini, Mrigashira, Rudra, Punarsu, Pushimi, Aslesha, Maga. He just told all the 27 stars because actors can do it very well because they're used to this dialogues. 27 stars. And the lady, being a zero at astrology, maybe, she said, oh my God, you know so much astrology. Okay. So you'll be shocked when you come to know why the moon has no enemies. Okay. So all the answers that you are given, they're all wrong. No, that proves that you're a beginner. That's good. Okay. There'll be lots of things you don't know, but you may think I know. Okay. 12 signs, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. Yes, I know them. I know sun signs. Therefore, I know astrology. But we know many things like that, right? You know chess, you know football, you know cricket, you know all kinds of things. You know computers, you know medical world, you know bacteria, you know virus, you know everything. But you won't be able to use it because we are not qualified. Okay. So why Jupiter hates Venus, but Venus doesn't hate Jupiter? Okay. So we got one more answer. Moon represents mother, so no enemies. Okay, we'll keep it for class. Okay. INA pharmaceutics. Why the sun hates Venus and why Venus also hates the sun? I think some of you attended yesterday's class, right? Remember, by just telling the situation, people created the horoscope. No, the planets must be here only. Wasn't that wonderful? They all joined as beginners. Okay. Yes, Sumit. When classes will start? Coming Saturday. It will not be session 1. It will be the start of the class. So it's almost like an overall astrology concepts and so on. The proper class will start after 1 week. But for if you want the answer, then it is definitely the coming Saturday. Okay, Sumit Setia, installment process. You can pay, I don't know, you can pay anyway into the bank or Google Pay, but you have installment we have given for those who are finding it difficult. We have given up to 4 installments. Okay. Or you can use the 2 installment option also. So it will always be all the Saturdays, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Okay. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Long time back when we did a poll, we found out that most people wanted only this time across the world. Except Australians, those who are in Australia will find it difficult. But the rest, we had most people are opting for this time. That's why we stick to this. Sometimes it was even 7:30 p.m. onwards, but then when we brought it down to 8 p.m. Okay, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Sometimes based on, if you want to slightly adjust it, we can make it 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. depending upon the majority of the people. But for the time being, we are saying it is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time because we have done it so many times. Sriram wants to say something. You raised your hand.
Yes, Guruji. It was the same question, but yes, Guruji. Same question is same, but an extension is these stars and planets that you speak about. At least I'm not aware of even the names of them. So do you think I can come straight to the class and pick it up, or should I?
After the class, because you have a 1 week gap in between the next, so you'll have enough time to memorize them and connect them and so on.
Okay.
but it's always good to imagine where the stars are. For example, if you know how to use a software and look at the planetary positions today, and then in the night sky, you try to locate the planets, it'll be very interesting. Okay. So, this is all true. Like that, you will get a feeling. And if you practice a little more, and if you have clarity about the 12 houses and how how all this rotates around you. Actually, it doesn't rotate around us. The earth rotates. And you can easily, if you know the stars, meaning I'm talking about the constellations. If you know the patterns, you can tell what time is it in the night. You can do that. Simple way is to just find out east and west by looking where the sun is, right? But if you practice a little longer, the sun's angle to you, with that you can come down almost to the fifth, as accurate as saying, like, I think it is 1:30 p.m., right? You can say that. So in the night, what you do is you need to know some planetary positions, and you need to know the where to look out for them in the sky. And then you can find out. So if you practice this way, it will become very interesting. But 27 nakshatras, memorizing them is no big deal for, keeping in mind the current level of education that we all received. Okay. It will be a cakewalk. It will be so easy to memorize the 27 nakshatras. But what would be difficult is to memorize it along with the signs. So for example, I have a slide which I show. It was done by one of my students. When somebody from Germany did this, I think. Okay. Prasad did this. So in the sky, Ashwini, it starts with Ashwini, then second Ashwini 2, Ashwini 3, Ashwini 4, and so on. Then Bharani comes, Bharani 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay. So instead of just memorizing them, you also need to know where they are. Okay. Remember, as I was speaking to you in the beginning, I said, do you know where Shravana is? Okay, it is here. This is where the in Tamil we call it Thiruvonam. It is Shravana Nakshatra, starts at 280 in the sky. This is the exact degree. From there, it extends for 13 degrees, 20 minutes. So if you add 13, 20 to it, you see where the next star begins is 293.20. So I know this without, without this sheet. In fact, you will also know very soon. Suppose I touch somewhere here, you should be able to say it is Pushya. And if I touch here, you should be able to say it is Aslesha. Okay. That's all. 27 nakshatras, 12 signs. Easily you can memorize it to begin with. And whatever is here, this Ashwini, from here to this Maka, from Maka, wait a minute. Maka there, and then from Maka to Mula, and then from Mula to Ashwini, like this. They all are equidistant from each other, and they all belong to the same planet, Ashwini, Maka, and Mula. So if you, without knowing this, if you attempt astrology, you will be in trouble because you won't know many things. Okay, you will struggle because in the same way I told you about any game that you play, you must know the entire dimension. Okay, you must know what is the size. So without that, it's difficult to play the game. Okay.
Sure,
so we have very, sorry?
Thank you, Guruji.
Okay. So we have many slides which are self-explanatory. So there's no need for a course material. Okay. In fact, it's much more than that. Reading a book, it will be very interactive. And we'll have some at least 45 minutes or half an hour discussion time, as long as it is healthy and pertaining to the class, we will answer them. If it is not pertaining to the class, we will not answer. And the other thing is, no personal consultations will be taken up during the course. During the course. Okay. Like, what do you think? I have this planet here. What will happen to me? Those kind of questions, because it is only for learning. We have come here to learn, not to consult. Okay. Yes. Divine girl.
I guess so. I wanted to check if you have time today. Do you think you could tell us like interesting stories about the planets, or more like mythology? So going forward, because when you asked that why moon has no end.
We do hold other, we have other interactions classes. Whenever such general things are being discussed, all the current students, not the beauty of this is not only the current students, even the past students also get invitations. We send it to all. Okay, because my license is for up to 500 people. So as many as people who want to attend it, because some of them have attended so many times, so they may not join. For those of you who are new to these concepts, whenever you get an opportunity, anytime we do some general discussions, you can always join. Okay. And in fact, we can take time off on a Saturday, meaning we can hold it for, in case one of you want to make a presentation of some interesting things about astrology, also we can do. But we will keep in mind that we'll have to finish the course as quickly as possible, not to delay it beyond a particular point. Okay. Anyone else has any doubt? I think it's easy to understand, right? Gautam, you want to join again? How many times will you join? Okay. There are people who join beginner's course 5 times. Okay. They just want to listen to me again and again. Because each time I use different examples. Okay. So, Lakshmi to everyone, when classes will start? Coming Saturday. If we miss a class and then learn from the recording, can we connect with you offline for doubts? No, that's not possible. But as you continue with the classes and then be invited into other sessions, it might be so, because we can't do it one-to-one. Okay. Yeah, I understand. So what we do is, once in 3 sessions, the 4th Saturday, we will keep our discussions. So you can clear up your doubts, but it won't be one-to-one. Okay. So only it'll be in a class, because the doubt that you have, maybe there's a possibility that others also have the same doubt. During the week, you can go through the book to also resolve the doubt. Vasanthi to everyone. Are students able to read charts? It depends on the student, actually, how much they have grasped, how much energy they spent on learning, how focused they were. There's no paka answer. But I like to say some of my students quit their jobs and have become astrologers. Now, whatever is the content in the course, only that will be discussed in the class. As I told you, there are other sessions for such discussions. 80% of the students have moved to the next level. That's obvious, because when we do level 2 courses, they immediately join. From that, we know that they've understood. And as we go through the level 2 and level 3, we understand that they have grasped the concepts very well. Any other doubt? Did I miss anything on the chat? Moon represents mother, so no enemies. Is it true that mothers have no enemies? If sun represents the father, will he also not have any enemies? I'm just joking, okay? Fathers have enemies and mothers don't have enemies. Is it because moon is visible only through reflection of sunlight. In fact, all the planets are visible only because of sun. Because he is the Mano Karaka. Okay. Induja. Mano Karaka. Okay, she corrected it. In fact, all the enmity is in the mind only. Okay. If you remove the mind, there is no enmity. So moon must have every planet as its enemy. Okay, because we're going to end now, I'll allow you to unmute and talk, but make sure there's not noise. Okay, the next 5 minutes. After that, we'll end the discussion. You're allowed to unmute and speak one by one. If no questions, then we'll end.
So probably moon is the man, and it's very nurturing and loving and caring, which also represents the mother. So by default, I think when you have so much love in your heart, it's very hard to have enemies.
No, I'm asking a question. Is it correct that women or mothers don't have enemies?
They do.
Somebody else is giving, and a lady is saying they do.
Yes, of course.
See, now what you're doing is you're imagining things, right? But you do not know that there is a single rule for friendship and enmity between planets. If you know that rule, you know everything. So this is a trick in learning. If you know the most important thing, by knowing that, okay, homework, which sage went to his guru and asked, teach me that, knowing which I will know everything else. I'll not tell you who that is, okay? Find out. Knowing that, I will know everything else. If you know that single rule, you will know the logic why Jupiter hates Venus, but Venus does not hate Jupiter. Why the moon has no enemies. You'll know all the answers. If you just know one rule, that's all. Okay. Fine, shall we end? So classes start coming Saturday, and that'll be proper introduction. Then after that, the time starts, like the clock's ticking. Every Saturday we have sessions. Once in a while, we'll give a Saturday off where we'll hold discussion sessions. And students who have prepared some material like the one I showed you now, you want to do something preparation, because preparing slides, all this will take you to the next level. It will give you confidence. It will also mean that, you're all working towards this knowledge. So that's your way of proving it. And then I have lots of slides already, countless slides I have for every topic. But I can also draw over the chart and I can write something on the whiteboard. As you say something, I can draw, I can move planets around. I can show that the way the planets move in the sky, everything. Because I have this, the electronic option. I have an iPad on which I can draw. And I can make it big and small. All this can be done. Okay.
Also, sir, if possible, can you also use North Indian charts? It just registers a lot easier.
No. Actually, the reason is, in olden times, the only chart was the South Indian chart. It was not North Indian or South Indian. The only chart was this. The reason is that, which is why when a North Indian does a book of astrology, he will include the South Indian chart. Okay. And a South Indian does a horoscope, he will not include North Indian chart. That proves the point. Okay. The reason I'll tell you, just wait. So, this is the Earth. Okay. Easy. You can't draw it like this on the North Indian. So planets are moving around the Earth like this. Okay, I'll use another color. All the planets are moving like this. Rahu Ketu alone is moving like this. Okay, it moves like this. You can't draw it like this. You can't visualize the sky in a North Indian chart. This is real. So if you have a planet, let's say Guru here, I'll change the color to maybe this. If I have Guru here, and if I have Shukra here, it's obvious that they are on the opposite sides. Okay. But in the North Indian chart, you can't look at this in this way. So it's not real. The North Indian chart is not real. But whatever it is the same content which is drawn in a different way. So there's nothing called North Indian astrology or South Indian astrology. Planets are in the same position. It's just the way how you draw it. And interestingly, the Western astrologer does not use this rectangle, but they use the circle itself. But even then, you can draw an earth right in the middle of the Western chart. But the only chart where you can't draw the earth in the middle is the North Indian chart. And it's very difficult to work with two different charts. So it is better that everybody goes to the South Indian chart. When I worked in the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's ashram, which had 75 centers across the world, the center was in Netherlands where I worked, Holland. I convinced the management using this idea, and they changed the default to South Indian chart across the world. Until then, they were using the North Indian chart. Okay. It is not about South India or North India. This was the only way it was drawn. But why we didn't select the circle idea is because you can see the way I drew the circle. It's so shabby. Even when I drew the earth also, it was shabby, but the software corrected it. If I hold it, it will correct it automatically. So it corrected it. But on paper or any other material, to draw a circle is so difficult. So they came up with the idea of rectangles or squares. Usually it is rectangle. Okay. But then you have the planet right here in our earth right in the middle. This you can't do in the North Indian chart. Okay. Visualization, everything can be done only in the South Indian chart. It will also tally with the visions that you have if you go to the terrace, if you want to look at where things are, if you visualize it in the South Indian format, it becomes very easy. Right? In the North Indian, how do you do this? If this is house number 1, where is house number 2?
Next, sir.
Where?
The triangle.
Anti-club.
Here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3.
You see how it is going? Do you have movements like this? We don't have. And the 4th house is close to the 1st house. The 7th house is close. The 10th house is close. These are all, sticking to each other. 1, 4, 7, 10. In the sky, they're very far away, 90 degrees apart. And where do you draw the earth? This is the logic I used in Maharishi Mahesh Yogi's ashram. And they changed 75 centers, they changed the default. A planet here, I'll change the color. A planet here will look at which house? I'm sorry. The planet here will look here. But if you draw it like this, you catch your attention by simply knowing 1, 4, 7, 10. Okay, it's the easy way of saying 1, 4, 7, 10, I know, Kendras. But where is 5 and 9? It is here. 5 and 9. The Trikonas. But if you get used to it, I think the mind gets adjusted and soon figures out where things are. The people who can do both the charts. Okay, it takes some practice. But the only difficulty here is, as I told you, 1 and 4 is so close to each other. It's not real. It's not the real way the sky is. That's the problem with this chart. Okay. I've done a video on this. It's already there on YouTube. Fine. So we'll see you on the coming Saturday. Saturday, 8 to 10 p.m. Correct. We don't have a direct payment link, which you can click and make a payment, but you can use all the options that is given in the group. And once you paid the group, if you don't want to be troubled by what's going on in this group, you can exit. Revati will send you another link, which is the enrolled students alone will be there. And in that, you will always find the Zoom link for the meetings. Okay. Those who do not join this group, if you want, I can maintain the current WhatsApp group to invite you for other general topics that we may do. Maybe you can join the course later. Okay. Fine. Shall I end the meeting? Anything else? Okay. Bye. You can unmute and say if you have anything to say.
Just any cues to the question you asked so we can look into it, because other than asking your students, I don't know how to get to that answer.
Which answer?
The sage who went to the Maharishi and asked, if you tell me that one thing, I will know it all.
That's okay. If you do the research, you might end up finding a lot of things.
I will have to post it on the main Patreon group or ask Varmanji or someone or Kishorji.
Okay. Not everybody might know that. Okay.
So some clue can be given. Otherwise, I'll get like my Mercury will get a little itchy over the weekend.
It's okay. It'll lead you to more learning when you start searching.
Okay.
Isn't that wonderful?
As it-
If you know that one by which, you see, in everything, it's like that. Any game, there must be something that Sachin understood in cricket that made him bat like that. Something that others did not see. Something in Magnus Carlsen, because he knows how to play. Something in V. Anand. Something in Muhammad Ali. Something different. That knowing that they could do that so well. It happens in every field. Okay. So what is that?
This is Jawahar here.
Yes.
After the course, will we have access to some of your softwares which you are using?
No. Definitely not.
Okay.
No, but I encourage all of you to install Jagannath Hora, free software. But there's another one also, Cosmic Insights is doing very well. But that is only if you have to purchase it. But then it allows you to get a lot of information regarding at whatever place you are in right now. You want to know the current planetary transits in the place where you are, the Lagna, everything. It just speeds up the process. Cosmic Insights. Both on iPhone and Android phone, I think. I'm not sure if it works in Android, but because I'm using iPhone, I'm using this Cosmic Insights. Okay. The software that I wrote was in GW Basic for my own work, for my own consultations, and that doesn't work on any modern platform. So it is outdated, but still I'm using it. Okay. It can't be given to anybody just because of the way the software is written. And so I encourage people to install either Jagannath Hora free, or you can purchase Cosmic Insights. It comes at a cost. And then, okay, to start with as beginners, Jagannath Hora is more than enough. In fact, it's very advanced actually, to tell you the truth. Okay. So Gautam has typed out the name, Jagannath Hora.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Okay, so
The trail to the
no,
answer.
we'll not be teaching Gemini. Okay, we will not be teaching Gemini in this. Okay, so we'll catch up again coming Saturday. Bye.
Yes, sir.